Welcome in, guys, to my NFL Week 11 picks. We're going to start off with last night's game, the Thursday game. It was the Titans versus the Green Bay at Lambeau Field. And again, I'm starting off with an 0-1. I had the Green Bay Packers with the -3. Titans got the win 27-17. Going on to the early Sunday games, we have the Bears. It's Bears football! Versus the Falcons. Again, two teams, this year in transition. I'm going to go for the Bears here plus the 3 because even in their defeat to the Lions, they still, Justin Fields did pretty good performance. But again, you have the same old thing with the Bears. It's 3rd and 12, halfback dime, field goal, running the ball. Okay, running the ball is great, but how about you expand and actually pick the pockets more and stretch the defenses? Because again, if you want to be an elite NFL quarterback, you need to actually. The thing I see with Justin Fields is he needs to work on his passing game and his awareness on the field. It's okay him running the ball, great at running the ball, but this isn't 1990s, 1980s defensive Bears football. Actually play some progressive football. God forbid, some progressive football, which actually means you're actually exciting and there's a future that maybe you could have something. You've got something. There is something in Justin Fields, but again, you need to unlock that in the regular season. And then, like I've been saying all season, start Desmond Ridder. Stop having Mariota, Marcus Mariota starting as a quarterback. Why did you draft Desmond Ridder if you're not going to start him? It doesn't make any sense. But I'm going to have the Bears. I'm going to have the Bears plus the 3. We have the Ravens versus the Panthers. I'm going to have the Ravens minus 13.5. We have the Bills versus the Browns. The Bills, it's going to be played at Ford Field, because also in Buffalo they're having there's a shit ton of storms up in Buffalo, and we're having some here in Detroit. But for this one, I'm going to go for the Bills minus the 8. I know that they lost the last 2 games, but I'm hoping week 3 that they bounce back and get the win. So I'm going for the Bills minus the 8. We have the Texans versus the Commanders. I'm going to go for the Commanders minus the 3. Then we have the Eagles versus the Colts. Again, the Eagles lost their first game on Monday night, but I think they're going to bounce back, and the Eagles are going to win minus the 7. We have the Patriots versus the Jets. Again, Bryce Hall is injured. He has been the MVP of this team. But again, the Patriots, they've been mixed. They had a bye week last week. I'm going to go for the Jets plus the 3.5. Then we have the Saints versus the Rams. Again, the Rams lost to the Cardinals last week. I'm going to go for the Saints minus 3.5. Minus the 3 for the Saints. Then we have the Giants versus the Lions. I'm going to go for the Giants minus the 3. Then we have the late Sunday games. We have the Broncos versus the Raiders. 2 head coaches that or questionably should be fired. You've got Nathaniel Hacks and Josh McDaniel. Again, I know that Josh McDaniel had that thing against Denver, and he beat Denver earlier in the season, but it hasn't gone well so far for him in Las Vegas. You've had Devontae Adams, you got Derek Carr. You was hoping for a bit more than what you had. And for the Broncos, I said before, again, trading for Russell Wilson, was it really worth it? Because, again, there's other quarterbacks you should have gone for in the draft, or you could have gone for in the free agency. You got to question sometimes, why was Russ on the free agency market and nobody else wanted him? But I'm going to go for the Broncos minus 2.5. The Vikings and the Cowboys. Now, Vikings had a great game last week against the Bills. Got a win. They're now 7-1, I think. Yeah, 7-1. Cowboys, they're coming off a defeat in Lambeau Field to the Packers. I'm going to go for the Vikings for the win plus the 1.5. Steelers versus the Bengals. Again, the Steelers, the opening game on week 1, the Steelers beat the Bengals. But again, this Bengals team, again, I look at offense. the offensive line. Sometimes you can say it has a good game. Again, it's kind of the offensive line. They can have a good game one week, the next week they can go back to what it was. But I am liking that Kenny Pickett is starting for the Steelers. But I'm going to say for this one, I'm going to have the Bengals minus the 3.5. Chiefs versus the Chargers. Again, Brandon Staley. I look at him and he's probably another head coach that looks maybe he's going to be fired, because you got Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, you have Justin Herbert. It's not been so good so far for the Chargers, but for the Chiefs, they've really had a good season so far. I'm going to have the Chiefs minus the 5. And then with the Monday night game, it's the Cardinals versus the 49ers. Cardinals going off that win against the Rams last week. 49ers, they got the win last week. I'm going to have the 49ers minus the 8. And my record for last week was 5-6. Didn't have a good week for week 10. I'll have my picks in the description box of this video, and tell me your picks in the comments.